You thought that I was playing in the past. Now I'm super fast, real raw, relevant. I'm also known as super bad, with a super attitude. If you don't like it, you can book a pass and be the first in line to kiss mine. Wait a minute, what I mean is I'm a lion, not a sheep. I don't need a weakling around to try to follow me. I'm destined to be better, getting bigger every day. I don't got the patience to sit around try to play. Focus like an animal, king of the...
My friends, welcome to the Revolution podcast. I am Sean Whalen, and this is going to be a fun episode because we're in the lair. What do you call it? Is there a name for this place? Is it besides the office? The den. The den. You got to get up to the microphone, even though they're nice microphones. The apartment. I'm here with Dave and Andrew with Tobacco Jeans, Tobacco Motorwear, which I love the name. You guys got to tell me about the name in a minute. But we're here in California. We're hanging out. And I wanted to do a podcast not only with these guys because I love the jeans and I'm wearing the jeans right now, but the story and what they're doing and how they're building the company is just freaking badass. And I love the hero journey of building a company. And we're literally in an apartment complex in a lair, and this is home base. This is headquarters. This is where the shit happens. And like literally we have like tens of thousands of dollars of product all around us. I probably shouldn't say that, huh? Do you guys have security?
I just
put you on blast right now. It's in an undisclosed location, but there's cool shit all around me. So guys, thanks for coming on and rapping with me. But tell me about the company. Tell me about the name. Like this isn't really an interview show. I'm not like fucking David Letterman or whatever else, but like I love like, you know, I could be fucking somebody else, but not David Letterman.
You just be you, Sean.
You know?
Yeah.
But tell me about the company. Tell me how you guys started and where the name came from.
Well, first, thanks for having us on, dude. And it's great to have you here. Great to finally meet you in person. We've been back and forth in a number of different ways, social media and whatnot for a while. I think, you know, we're a testament of like the do shit mentality. And Andrew and I do video, and you know, we would go and pitch companies on doing video series, and we both also ride motorcycles. And I got kind of an idea that I wanted to take a motorcycle trip down Baja and ride from San Diego to Cabo San Lucas and back. But I got like a wife, and she's working, and I'm like, it's not very cool to be like, I'm going to take like 10 days, 2 weeks to just go and have fun. And so I was like, well, let's go get sponsors for this thing. And we actually do. We go and raise a bunch of money so that we're taking the trip we want to take, but everything's paid for all along the way.
That's like the dream, isn't it? Like, hey, I want to go like just do a bunch of wild shit and have somebody else pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, it was the Bachelor, and I just invited all my friends, and like one guy bought a bike the morning of the trip. Like, you know, it was just a ragtag group. It wasn't like this herd of thundering Harleys going down. It was like, yeah, like every brand, every style. It was just this funny group of guys and all cool dudes to hang out with. And the thought was, all right, let's do this thing and just get it paid for. And one of my goals was to get like an apparel brand, like a Levi, especially jeans, because I've always liked jeans and stuff. And I just kind of gotten into like the raw denim thing. And so I wanted to hit up like a Vans. I felt like Vans would jump on something like that, or maybe Levi's. And we just never connected the dots to hit up like the jeans company. If we had, maybe Tobacco Motorwear doesn't exist, right? So when we were done with the trip, and we're editing this thing together, you know, all of the sponsors get like a mention down at the bottom of the video. And
shot the whole trip, made a feature out of it.
Yeah. So you can check that out.
It's pretty sweet, yeah.
Yeah, Motos in Mexico, and it's just it's fun movie to watch, especially if you ride. But we're like, I'm like, okay, we're gonna add a sponsor, and you know, for a jean company, and Andrew's like, what? You were just going to, what? You were like.
Created out of thin air.
Yeah.
Make up.
He was like, you're just making up sponsors now? And so I'm like, no, we're gonna do a gene company, and and we didn't even have a name at that point, but we're like, all right, because we're like, as long as this thing's gonna go out there, we're gonna get kind of double dipped.
Yeah, we're gonna blast it and be like, we did this, and yeah.
And it's funny because that one trip, like the momentum of that trip led to us starting Tobacco One Company, but it also led to in a much more meaningful way, we worked on a lot of projects together, like video projects. But after getting those sponsors and some decent names on that, we're like, we can do this. We can do videos for big companies. And so it launched this whole other company, Spaceman Creative, which is kind of our like video kind of content creation, quote unquote, viral video agency. And
agency sounds so professional,
buttoned up, dude.
Like it's just so good. You know, like you can't wear jeans if you work at an agency.
And well, we don't really work at an agency. We embody agency in everything we do. So we just wanted to. That just comes from wanting to take a motorcycle trip, and I know you went, and I wanted to be on the trip you took with Steven Colby. But like that probably will spawn more things than you can even imagine.
So who came up with tobacco? As you're getting ready to throw in your fake gene company that doesn't exist, who sponsored you for your Mexico shenanigans, how did tobacco show up?
So the legend has it. The truth is we had this list of names going.
I like legends, though. We can just keep it like we don't really fucking know.
The truth is stranger than fishing. This is the truth. We had this list of names going, and some were more like, felt a little more moto, Ace and Spade, or Spade and Ace, or something like that. Like that, you'd see
it's already been done.
It's already
boring.
This and that thing. There were a few of those on the list. Shackleton was on the list because I love the Explorer, the Ernest Shackleton story and stuff like that. A bunch of things on the list, and there was just nothing quite feeling it. And I had a dream of a jacket, and like a memory in my dream of this jacket I'd seen in Vegas probably 10 years ago. And it was like a $4,000 jacket, and the color of it was on the tag. It said, tobacco as the color. And I remember seeing this jacket and smelling this jacket and going like, that should be the name of the brand on the jacket. Like the brand should be tobacco. And what a cool, brand that would be, And so like, just in my dream, that came back to me, and we put that on, and like my wife and everyone, his family, so many of our friends, my brother was like, if you do that, no one will ever buy that. Tobacco is the worst. Like, why would you do that? Like, tobacco has a terrible reputation.
When people are like, that sucks ass, you're like, we're keeping it. We're going to put so much money behind that.
Yeah, and I just had this feeling, kind of this inspiration as we were thinking of it, and just going like, that is the name that will make this brand successful. And we have the trademark for apparel. You can't put tobacco on your shit, Sean, because
I will. I'll call you guys first and say, hey, I'll buy you guys some Skittles and coffee on our next ride.
I'll probably do it.
It's dope. I love it, man, and I love the story. I love just the evolution of it. But what makes it cool to me is like, I'm a huge proponent and a huge fan of like, if you can make money doing what you really love doing. I mean, we've read every book, right? There's like fucking books written for years about like, do what you love and you'll make more money and the whole thing. Like, you're legitimately doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the same thing that I do. And I have an affection for that. It's like, money's kind of the easy thing. If you can build a lifestyle and a brand that people want to be a part of, and you can actually monetize that, that's like the golden fucking nugget. That's what every single company, every entrepreneur, everybody's like after. You know what I mean? Is riding motorcycles, doing some cool shit, and actually making money at the same time.
The interesting thing with that note on that, doing what you love, it doesn't. It's you can get excited about the idea of something doing what you love, but then as soon as the rubber hits the road, it becomes not what you love anymore.
Yeah,
and that's where I think that's what separates the men from the boys, because you can think about something doing what you love, but then when you do it, like it's not fun, and that's every creative project goes through that. Every company, like the daily grind of tobacco, is not fun. Nobody would want to sit there and answer emails or get yelled at on Facebook and whatever. And so it takes much more than just a love for it, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of it takes a whole lot more than that, and it's keeping the end in mind and being able to get through that rough part where you don't have sales for a week straight, because that's not fun,
I think that's part of the fun part though, because when people yell at me on Facebook, I tell them to fuck off, and I quite enjoy telling people to fuck off. So I'm like, I like that part of the process. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do when I'm sitting on the shitter? I'm like, oh, I'm going to freaking answer these assholes. You know what I'm saying? But no, I totally get what you like. You have this concept, and I think this is really what blocks most entrepreneurs. And here's kind of, we talk about kind of this direction is like, the entrepreneurial deal. I've started multiple companies, and what you're saying is like dead on accurate. We have this idea, this grand fucking vision from a dream, and we're like, we're going to incorporate it. We're going to get letterhead made. We go to Fiverr and we get a logo and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we got to build a website. We got to pay a guy. Now we got to do this. Now we got to do that. And it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. I was just thinking being an entrepreneur was like standing by my mailbox and opening it and glorious amounts of cash just poured out. And it's like, now it's not fun. But I think like being able to transcend that and figure out, one of the lessons that I learned a long time ago is like, I know what I don't know, and I can learn the things that I don't know, but I'd rather find somebody who knows that better than me and let them do it so that I can do what I do really, really well.
Yeah, because the interesting thing David says on multiple occasions that he started a motorcycle brand to ride motorcycles, but he hasn't ridden less in his life than after he started his motorcycle brand. And so...
Yeah, it took, like, my motorcycle was busted, like, and every spare dollar was going into building the business, you know? And like, besides that, I'm hustling other work, writing and doing stuff like that. Like, by writing, that's with a W this time. And I literally, for the first 2 years of having the company, I couldn't afford to fix my motorcycle, and I had a kid during that time, and there was just so much going on. But like we talk about, sometimes we're going like, when was the last time like we just had a friendly conversation, and it's been months. For months or like, and I asked him one time, like, but like, would you rather have a friendly conversation than talk about business? And like, maybe there's sometimes where it's like, yeah, but honestly, like, I love the struggle, and it's like, do hard shit. Recognize that following, like, the problem with just saying and telling people to follow their passion is that has to also go hand in hand with, you have to enjoy, not just like do what you love, but love what you do. Mm-hmm. So if what you do is totally having a yelling match between you and your partner for 3 hours until you guys sort of come back to status quo and see eye to eye and go, okay, I finally heard you, because I'm so been intent on pushing my point of view that I haven't even listened to you for this 3 hours. And then finally it clicks and you go, oh, okay, now I can get it. So like, when we have confrontations, like at the end of it like, I actually admire my partner more for being able to bring that up and being confrontational, rather than like letting something like boil up, down beneath. And when I'm dealing with our manufacturers and they fuck something up, like, I hate that happens. I don't like that happens. That's not a fun part of the job, but I like fixing it. I do like fixing it. Would I rather that the problem didn't happen? Yeah, because it's probably going to cost me money. It's definitely going to cost me time. But I enjoy that part of the process. And if you can't do hard shit, your love is going to wear thin. And that goes for your relationships, totally agree, or whatever you're going through. Like, people feel like, well, I'm going to I'm gonna, we're gonna break up because it's not fun anymore. Where's the passion at? That's gonna be any relationship you're ever in.
Every aspect, like of I don't like going to the gym and knowing that I'm going to get my ass kicked by my trainer, but I've started to actually like it because I like the result, right? Like I like making money, and I know that the process to making money might not be, sunshine and freaking kittens all day long. It's going to be, so I've actually started to appreciate the process. There's a lot of shit that Gary Vaynerchuk says that I don't agree with and like. I think that he's literally trying to, not he, but the message is being received like, if you're not working 27 hours a day, you're a fucking idiot and you're a failure. Like hustle, grind, hustle, grind. There's really nothing like remotely sexy about the word grind. Like you think of negative and just like this thing, but like a lot of people think that they have to do that. Yeah, bumping and grinding is cool. But like I've started to learn, and I've really enjoyed this over the last couple of years, having built multiple businesses and burned a couple of them to the ground. Like I appreciate that process. I would much rather be out on my bike riding all day long, but I realize that if I do this 3 hours worth of work or 4 hours worth of work, it's going to equate to this, which will then allow me to ride even more when I want to ride. You know what I mean? So it's like going to the gym. Like nobody's like, yes, I'm going to go get my ass kicked and I'm going to sweat and I'm going to be fucking sore tomorrow. But you're like, I enjoy looking this way or feeling this way. And the process of doing that is becomes more attractive. I think it's the same way with building a business. Like you're saying, you're not sitting here all day long going, dude, I can't wait to answer emails. But at the same time, there kind of becomes almost like a little love affair with that process, because you're like, I wonder if I say this to this person and how far will it go and who will reach what area. And if I do these little teeny things throughout the day, like what is it going to get us in the long run? But that becomes, to me, that's become part of the love affair of business, is like making the money is cool and the mailbox checks showing up. But that process along the way is what's really fucking sexy to me. And I enjoy that. I enjoy knowing that it's going to get me a dividend. I mean,
that knowing, I think, can only come with experience, and can only, like when you were starting that first business of yours, did you have the grand scheme in mind, or were you just focused on that one business and it was kind of myopic? But now that you've done that a bunch of times, you're able to realize, to look at the bigger picture and everything, and to see on a bigger scale how things impact other things, and how it doesn't really matter that the now, but it's the bigger picture, and being able to pay your dues to get the payoff.
Yeah, like what you're saying. I mean, arguing and conflict resolution, like that's good. It's normal. That's healthy to disagree. It's healthy to have that. But when you have that mutual respect of like, okay, cool, you're good at what you do and I'm good at what I do, and we both appreciate that. And it's like staying in your own lane, essentially, within the business. Talk about that, because that's, I think, something that's really hard. That's been hard for me. That was one of my biggest lessons before. When I walked away from my company before my bankruptcy, my divorce, like kind of my midlife crisis and meltdown, I had a partner that I brought on, and I hate details, right? I'm the pitch guy, the promotion guy, the build guy, the vision guy, and we did about $1.8 million, and I realized like I could do way more. So I brought a partner on and essentially gave him ownership in the company and said, look, you handle all of the day-to-day stuff that I don't want to. He was an accountant. He was a nerd. He wore like white socks with his jeans and had a braided belt. So he and I could not be any like further apart, but he was really good at what he did. And that following year, we did over $20 million. I mean, we grew so fucking fast, and it was good because I stayed in my lane. He stayed in his lane. I think that's hard for a lot of people. It's hard for entrepreneurs. It's hard for alphas who have like a skill set. So how do you guys deal with that? How do you guys do that?
I'll let you go first.
Don't turn this into a 3-hour argument either, because I just would grab a beer and watch you guys duke it out. That'd be great, actually.
My big thing, insecurity is a really interesting thing that I think about a lot. But you think about how insecurity and really people's attempts to hide their insecurities, and a lot of that comes out in you trying to do everything and like, oh, you can't admit that you can't do something, and so you try and do it. And so I think we're comfortable with each other, and we're respectful enough that we know what each other is good at, and that we're able to delegate, and so that mutual respect is always there. And so anything that happens is on top of that. So any argument, it could be the worst argument ever, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because that respect is there, and we're never chipping away at that foundation of respect. And so it's being able to recognize what you can't do and what the other partner brings that we're able to delegate. And to, like me, I like to know that Dave can do that, so I don't even have to think about it, and if he needs my help with it, he'll come to me, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's been an evolution to get there. I mean, like building up that trust too. Like he's got all my bank information. He knows every password that I have. Like he could really make my life hell. And then me not being such a detail oriented person, I have none of that on him. So he's really in a position of power. But it's also this thing of like I'm the vision guy. I'm like you, and getting the right people around me is essential, because like anybody who's a vision guy, you will have a million ideas a day.
Oh, dude.
You'll go, oh, we should do this. We should do this. We should do this. We should do this. And Andrew's really good because one, he like visibly, you can see how annoyed he gets by ideas, which sounds maybe not good.
It's fine though, because with me, an idea is all I can think of is everything that it takes to execute and bring that to light. Whereas Dave is like just thinking about the idea, and that's great, and you can move on. But I'm like, no, that idea is going to be weeks of work and a bunch of this and a bunch of that, and a bunch of that, and so I can't help but stretch everything out so it's full.
Yeah, so I go, so it makes me kind of go, I'm not gonna throw his day off by just pitching every idea. I'm going to be careful about the ideas that I pitch. And so like, I'm going to wait until, okay, this is something I really believe in, and just instead of like going, oh, we should do this. And he's gotten good at just going, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, now shut the fuck up and do what you're supposed to do today.
And he's right. And he'll wait for me to like come back a few times with the same idea and go, okay, he's more serious about this. And it's just kind of like, and on the flip side, like I think Andrew recognizes that like that my ideas have a track record of success, and so like he's okay. And to me, it's like it's admirable. It's just kind of confusing that here's a guy that's creative and an artist in his own right, being a cinematographer and all of this stuff, and like, but he'll abdicate that and allow and just go like, I like not having to be the quarterback, but just give me the ball and I'll freaking punch it through, and like I don't need to come up with a game plan, and that gives me the freedom to do that without feeling like I'm second guessed every step of the way by somebody who's got another opinion. And
just the insecurity thing of being,
dude,
back to that.
So huge, man. Like what you're saying is literally like been the thorn in my personal side for 6 years of business. Like prior to having a meltdown, because I was like, I knew it all, right? And I had to be involved with everything and letting shit go. But truly letting stuff go, it's hard for a lot of people. It's hard because a lot of people listen to this. You listen to guys like Andy Frisilla, Gary, where it's like this go, grind, alpha, whatever. But, knowing Andy, I know him well enough to know that he and his partner, Chris, are very, very, very similar to what you guys are talking about. Like, they both very clearly understand the roles, and I think that's what makes a good partnership is – understanding, hey, I'm really good at this. He's really good at that. Let him go do that. And if we're both focused on that end goal, you know what I mean? Building a partnership is hard, man. Mm-hmm. That's one of the hardest things to do in business is partnerships and relationships. There's been a lot of times where I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to go do this on my own kind of a thing. But then I realize who's going to pay the bills, who's going to manage the freaking spreadsheets, and who's going to put together P&Ls, and who's going to do all that shit, because I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But
and when way back to the founding, I had before Andrew got involved, I was like putting together stuff about it, and I'd contacted a guy who went to like fashion school, and I was like, dude, maybe you could get involved in this. And I was thinking, who do I want around me? And you wouldn't think it now, but Andrew at the time was like red Dickie shorts and like running shoes and not a fashionable guy. And he didn't just like jump into my head. And so when I was pitching, we're going to put my jeans brand on the video, he's like, well, it's our video. Why is it promoting your jeans brand? And I'm like, dude, didn't think you had any interest in doing anything like this. And he's like, well, I like business. I like doing that. And so it was like, okay, come on for the Kickstarter. And then you just see a guy who's like an executor, somebody who's about execution. And the value that he brought wasn't that he understood fabric or anything like that. And it was partially that he could shoot video, but you can hire somebody to shoot video. Really like to have somebody who forces you to come down to earth for a little while and say, okay, that's a good idea. What are the steps to getting there? And then is disappointed if you don't make your deadline.
Yeah.
Like if your partner,
it's a good balance.
Yeah. If your partner isn't bummed out, like if you miss a deadline, if your wife isn't bummed out, if you like don't show to the dinner that she made or whatever it is, like that's not somebody who's pushing you to be better, and you're going to flatline. It's just going to be like whether your business is going to plateau or like whether your relationship's going to be that way. Like you have to have somebody who's pushing you, and we kind of push each other.
So when you're bringing him down to earth, though, did you do it with your red Dickie shorts?
I love my red Dickie shorts. I'm looking for some red Salvaged to make some red tobacco.
I was gonna say, make some red jeans. I'd rock those, dude. That would actually be badass. A pair of like red jeans. I think that'd be pretty cool.
How much would you pay for them?
Oh, I paid a bunch for these. So I'd probably pay the same thing. If as long as you put limited edition, and I know they're never coming back out. See,
we'll make two pairs, one for you, one for
That's
me.
it, done. And then like I'll sell them for like $10,000 on eBay. You know what I mean?
Probably get it,
like
too,
gold stitching and stuff. So what would you say to like? I love imparting as much knowledge and as much wisdom to people. Like, what would you guys say looking back? Because obviously history is like it's the great educator, right? I mean, hindsight's 20/20. Like somebody listening right now, because I'm big in fashion. I love like gear. I love looking good. Like I love all of that stuff. So there's probably a lot of people that want to do kind of something similar. Buy a sewing machine.
Buy a sewing machine and tailor everything you own.
Dude, I'll just, again,
like t-shirts, even
pay
t-shirts.
somebody, right?
If we're talking fashion tips.
No, what would you say to somebody wanting to start a business? Like somebody right now, like what would you guys say is like your number one nugget that you could give people right now in starting a business? I have an idea. It's floating around. Fucking listen to this podcast. It's inspiring me. I'm going to go do it. If these two assholes can start a freaking jean company, then I can do it. What would you say to somebody right now that's sitting in front of you said, I want to start my deal? What's the number one thing they have to go do?
This is the thing I'm thinking right now. And so this may not come off as super wise or like whatever. This is just the thing that's jumping into my head. And next week it may be a totally different answer. But you can afford to lose $3,000. Like we way back in Bitcoin's first ascent, like 5 years ago, we bought some Bitcoin mining computers, and I got my brothers all in it, and we all put in like $3,000 to get these computers, and then they each.
Nowadays you can buy them for way less than that.
Oh yeah, But back then they were mining like a coin a day. Yeah. And so like it would have been worth it had they delivered on time. But by the time they delivered, Bitcoin had a fall again, and it just wasn't worth doing it. And this is way back, and I was newly married and stuff like that. And $3,000 I thought was a lot of money. And then I realized like I never missed it. And none of my brothers, all similar situation, and they came in and I said, this isn't guaranteed or whatever, but and nobody ever said a word. Yeah. And it just made me realize like you can afford to lose $3,000. I suggest not putting it on a credit card and paying it off for the next 20 years. But like if you have an idea, figure out what the $3,000 to $5,000, the first $3,000 to $5,000, maybe that's building the website. Maybe that's getting the prototypes. But literally, because I lost that money on Bitcoin, the money we spent to get that I spent about $2,000 on prototypes to launch the company, and I needed those prototypes to test the jeans, to take pictures in, and we spent about $1,000 initially on promoting the Kickstarter. And we funded at $120,000, top 1% of Kickstarter at the time, and like suddenly I was like, we have a business. But if I had been so tight-fisted and thought, oh, it's going to kill me, like, you will survive. Sell something.
Dude, there's probably no better advice, in my opinion, that will hold people back, like, than being willing to invest in yourself, to just literally bankroll yourself. Like, there's so few people that will literally, and it might not even be necessarily the business, like starting a website, but literally buying the knowledge. Like, you and I are not the only people that have ever started a fucking business. Like, there's literally millions of people that have seasons of knowledge that you could go buy and invest in that would save you years of, peril down the road. Like, being willing to spend money on yourself, not only on your business, but on your mind, on your education, on coaching, on growing and expanding, in my opinion, that's probably one of the biggest things that holds people back. Is we want to borrow money from everybody else. Like, if you're not willing to bank on yourself, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, why the fuck would anybody else bank on you? If you're not willing to, like, drag your ass behind a motorcycle to test out your jeans, why the fuck would anybody else think that, these jeans are going to be, like, bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with the money. I think that's huge, absolutely huge. What do you think?
I would say I'm huge on checklists, and so I would say break it down into lists and then just start attacking those point by point. And barrier to entry is extremely low, meaning with everything that's out there, all the resources, anything out there, whatever you want to do, you can just kind of just go do it. Like there's always Kickstarter is an amazing tool. If you use it right. It's not a place where you go put up a campaign and hope that people come. It's a full-time job to get a Kickstarter to run properly. But that's amazing. We were able to start with that. We didn't have to go out and go to Silicon Valley and pitch venture capitalists and get angel funding. You go to Kickstarter, make a video, put some work behind it, get it on the right blogs, and we started a company. And so it's so easy these days to whatever you want, put a couple dollars into the prototype, shoot a video, and make a Kickstarter, or make just a website and get it in front of the right eyes.
There's how many times have you guys heard, somebody's already doing that, or you can't make money on jeans because Levi's has the corner. I mean, how many people have said that? Like, well, how do I make money with patches or anything, like literally anything? Somebody's already done it. Everything's already been done. The wheel's already been invented.
It's all about marketing and branding.
What you're talking about is such a huge barrier, because we look at it and say, like, computers, like Apple has the corner or this or that or the other or whatever it is. I don't care what product you're talking about. So many people face the resistance of saying, well, it's already been done. The question is, can you do it better or can you do it differently? Because I mean, how many jean companies are there?
Oh, there's tons. There were
hundreds or thousands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going into a marketplace that's like massive. It's fucking massive. Practically every human being on the planet has a pair of jeans, right? Like, trying to say, well, let's go create something new or whatever. How are we going to do it our way? You know what I mean? Take that little small piece of a big pie has kind of been my mantra forever. Like, I don't want the whole pie, because trying to go after the whole pie and get the whole pie, I just want a small piece of a lot of different pies. And to me, that's how wealth is built. To me, that's how, like, I have more fun too, as I take a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And you can make a huge ripple and a huge difference in having a bunch of small pieces of big pies. You know?
For years I did stand-up comedy. And coming from that world, like, if someone's joke is at all like mine, no.
Yeah.
And if my joke is like somebody else's and I hear it and they're like, I hear it on TV and I'm doing a joke that's similar in the club, it's like you throw it out because it's like too close. And so it was really hard to, like, change your mind about that and go, no, it's a proof that there's a market out there for this.
Yeah.
There's a market for salvaged jeans. People are paying $200-$300 for salvaged jeans unlined, right? And there's motorcycle jeans out there that are protective that people are paying $200-$300 for that look like crap. Well, what if you made salvaged jeans that look really good and then put protection in them so that motorcyclists could ride and feel confident that if they go down, they're not going to leave a big greasy blood smear across the road.
Dude, that's what's rad about it is like all of the facets that you have with tobacco, they already exist. It's all already in the marketplace. So tell us about talk about the protection of the jeans, because I'm wearing mine. It's like the third time I've worn them, but I took them off in the hotel room the other day, and I was looking, and the tag like popped out. Made in the USA was obviously like #1. I'm like, fuck yeah, all your other jeans can suck it because mine are made in America. But it says Kevlar on them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know very many people that have Kevlar. Like, I'm talking military grade. I'll shoot your fucking ass, and it's gonna save your life. Kevlar stuff. Like, that's what we think. We were talking about that. You think about Kevlar, and it's like bulletproof. It's protective. It's whatever. Your jeans have Kevlar.
Yeah.
In them. Talk about that.
So yeah, Kevlar is like super abrasion resistant, puncture resistant, heat resistant magic fiber, right? And they spin that fiber into yarn, and then they weave or knit that fiber into different fabrics. And so like most people, when you hear Kevlar, you think, I mean, it's almost synonymous with Kevlar vest, but like people think about like bulletproof vest. And I'll be the first to say we do not condone you buying our pants and going out and shooting yourself.
Have you
just
tried
to
shooting
test
yourself with them? I
Yeah.
know you drug yourself behind a motorcycle, which, dude, we're going to put a link to that video here on the podcast because it's freaking rad. But have you tried shooting
So
yourself?
the way they
Andrew?
do, no, and this is why the kind of Kevlar, what they do in a
because
Kevlar
we're in
vest,
California too, and there's
You
no
can't get
guns
a
in
gun.
California.
You can't-
I,
yeah,
however, could solve that problem
could
easily
right now.
today if you'd like
Yeah.
to shoot a video.
Maybe we should do that and just see what happens. So so Kevlar is like the fiber, right? And it can be done in different ways. And so there's like almost there's like a Kevlar laminate in bulletproof vest that's like, what makes it bulletproof, it's pages of Kevlar. It's like a book of this woven Kevlar that looks like a basket. It's bright yellow, and it's page after page after page of those. And you hear about like Bible, like you can't shoot through a Bible because the bullet just eventually stops. So like Kevlar, much stronger than paper. It doesn't have to be as thick as a dang Bible, but like it's those layers that stops the bullet. So ours is our own formulation. So we did the density, we did the knit, we made sure that it would be breathable. And then rather than, like if you felt the kind of Kevlar in a bulletproof vest, you wouldn't want that against your skin.
Right.
It feels like fiberglass almost. So the stuff that's protecting you and your jeans that you're wearing today is like made to be more breathable, more like just soft. I mean, they're comfortable, right? Like it just feels like, it feels better than like a normal jean.
Well, dude, and knowing that I have like Kevlar protecting my balls, it's like I can walk around all day long, literally, and I'm like, I have Kevlar.
Flipping people off.
I got Kevlar jeans. I'm like, you can't stab me, you can't shoot me. It's kind of like the Iron Man of jeans. Like, I don't really want to put my new Harley down, but I kind of like want to ride and just be like, I'm going to bail from this right now.
You want to be in a drag
Dude,
video?
150%. 150%. I'm in.
All right.
100
All right.
we even talked about that. I talked to Patrick. I'm like, I wonder if like we could go all in today and they'll drag me behind a car or a motorcycle to test out their jeans. I'm in. Like, I volunteered. This is
Let's
maybe
put something together.
Maybe
'cause
I'm deranged. Well, I probably think that I am because my buddies in the police force in Utah, like they have volunteers come in and they have to shoot each other with the tasers. I'm like, dude, I want to get shot with a taser. I've seen all the videos where people like shit themselves or whatever. I know it's crazy. I know it's ridiculous, but like I want to experience that.
Yeah, I would do that.
I want to do that. Like I want to get shot with a taser. Like I want to get drugged behind a car or some freaking dangerous object that would like rip my ass off, and I want to get drugged in these jeans.
Let's do it.
I wish that I had these in high school. In fact, I was thinking about this.
What happened in high school?
Dude, I had this freaking thought last night as I was thinking about coming and hanging out with you guys. When I was in high school, I thought I was a really cool kid, like every other high schooler. And this girl came and picked us up one time from basketball, me and a couple of my buddies. And she had this little Volkswagen Rabbit, the cabriolet. You know, remember those old school little two-door deals? And we're driving home, and I'm talking some shit, and somehow it came up like, I don't need you to pick me up. Like, I can call any girl, and she'll come pick me up. She's like, well, fine, then get out of my car. And we're driving down the road, and so I'm like, cool. And I like open the door, I'm like, pull over, and she jerked the wheel. God's on a story, swear on my children, and I fell out of the car, and I slid on my basketball shorts like 20 feet on the concrete. I spent like 6 hours in the ER with them pulling gravel out of my ass. And I just had this thought. I was like, I really wish that I had these jeans on at that given time.
You would have walked away.
You would have been
We could do that as a video. I could jump out of a moving car.
All right,
How about
just
the
sign
jackets?
the waiver. No,
How about will the jackets do the same thing?
Well,
like,
you
can
know
I
what?
just literally like belly flop out of a car
that jacket
with a full face helmet, of course?
Yeah, that
Would that work?
jacket. That jacket that you saw today is a prototype. So we're going to be launching a Kickstarter, so you can pre-order that jacket. It's going to be great price because how Kickstarter works. You usually offer it at a Kickstarter
Right,
price,
yeah,
and then it's going to
discount.
be more.
Right.
You know.
Sign up for the mailing list to get
So yeah.
Boom.
Tobaccomotorwear.com. Get on the mailing
We'll have all your
list.
links in here. Don't worry. We're gonna
All right.
pimp it out.
Pimp. Anyway, when that stuff comes out, we'll have a top for you. We have like a riding shirt right now, which the whole thought behind the riding shirt is a lot of guys. I've seen you on your bike, no helmet, Utah laws,
I know. I love it. I hate coming to California because I got to put a helmet on.
dude. Yeah, no,
I should
know
wear a
how
helmet.
it feels.
I know my mom yells at me, my kids yell at me, but you know Jess. I started riding with Jess, and he doesn't wear a helmet. So I'm like, he's been riding for a long time, and he doesn't wear a helmet. So
That sounds like a
Dude.
bad influence.
Yeah.
he's a bad influence, but he
Dude,
got me to
it's
buy my bike, so
interesting.
he's a really
Utah-
good influence.
Utah motorcycle laws, just a tangent a little bit. It's funny because you can't lane split, which there was a study done by Stanford saying lane splitting is safer for the rider. Like the biggest risk you have in traffic is as a motorcyclist isn't really cars changing lanes on you, although obviously drivers look out, bikers look out, you know, but it's that bike stops really quickly. So if traffic in front of you stops, you can stop really easily. That car
The guy behind
you
you pancakes
won't.
you.
If
Yeah.
you're lane splitting, that doesn't happen. But in Utah, you can't lane split. Really, California is the only legal state. I think maybe one other, maybe. Anyway, but then in Utah, you don't have to wear a helmet. So it's like, yeah, but you can't
Yeah.
lane split. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not one for the
Look, don't-
government.
it's the government,
I'm
bro.
not one for the
Come on.
government stepping
We're
in.
20 trillion gajillion $1 billion in fucking debt. Like we
Well-
can't balance a checkbook, and we're wondering why.
I'm
It's
for
crazy.
freedom. So give you the freedom.
Yeah.
I'm not for saying like the government should come in and say put a helmet on. I think you should do that. But I am for the government getting out of motorcyclists' way and saying let them lane split, and that we're all about educating the public. So we're going to be making videos about how important it is to tell your government, hey, we're bikers. We want the ability. It's not that
Yeah.
you have to lane split,
Sure.
but give the biker the ability to get out of harm's way.
I agree, dude. Your Ryan Reynolds video. So we're gonna post the link here, guys, because they're really, really good. This is why I like and vibe with these guys, is because not only is it a dope product, but like the video aspect of what you guys do is like that sings to me because I love videos. I love the marketing aspect. I love all that stuff. Talk about the Ryan Reynolds video because it was really fucking funny. I was on my Facebook timeout when you sent that to me, so I couldn't post it. When I got out of my timeout is when I posted it. I was banned from Facebook for 30 days. But talk about the Ryan Reynolds video.
Okay, so basically the Ryan Reynolds video, as it said, is what motorcyclists want to say to drivers. It starts out, it's like a PSA, and it was kind of inspired by, to be honest, you know, all, like celebrities do
Yeah.
these PSAs
Don't
all
do
the time.
drugs
Like,
and
and
it's
it's just,
It's
you know,
kind of a mockery. It's a subliminal mockery of a lot of other videos that have been out there, but it actually is really fucking funny.
yeah, and it's actually for a real cause
Yeah.
too, right? So it's a real PSA, but like we didn't want to be like out there preaching on our soapbox or anything. So
Yeah.
we're gonna make everything funny. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just who we are. And so it starts out like, hey, drivers, you know, you may think us bikers are just out there having a good time, acting crazy, but think of this. You know, somebody loves me and wants me to come home. I'm somebody's father, somebody's brother. And how would you feel if, like, if I didn't get home, basically. And then it's like, or maybe I'm someone everyone loves, someone the world would be lost without, someone like film legend Ryan Reynolds. And then the whole thing just becomes a love letter about Ryan Reynolds. And,
Oh, dude.
But the idea is, if as a biker, if you don't give a shit about me, okay. But if you think, well, how do you know that's not Ryan Reynolds? Because even if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, the world's gonna hate you
if
you
you're the guy
kill Ryan
who kills
Reynolds.
Oh my gosh,
So
dude.
So watch out for bikers, because it might be Ryan Reynolds, and the arguments are like, well, I know you don't. Well, that doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Reynolds is an actor, and he doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. It doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds in Best Friends, where he's all fat and everything. So for all you know, that dude with the beard riding around, that could be Ryan Reynolds researching a role. So anyway, so we do this PSA, and it just blew up.
It triggered like car drivers, right? And their whole argument was, well, you know, at one time there was one guy that zipped by me and it really pissed me off. So no, I'm not going to look out for you, which is just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's saying like, no,
Yeah, I'm gonna run you
murder
over. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, calm
Yeah.
down. But the comments just blew up way more than we ever could have imagined. It was crazy.
Well, and yeah, it did. It legitimately went viral. But there were things about when we had the idea for it, like, because you were talking to Alex about virality, and we were talking a little bit before about, you know, what makes things go viral. And Andrew and I have our other business, the kind of agency business, is about creating shareable content that is geared towards people sharing it and commenting and liking, and not just getting that 3-second Facebook view, right? And so when we had this idea, we go, yeah, this has legs, and because it's ticking some of those boxes. It's pitting two groups kind of against each other, and not creating like just a huge negative thing. It wasn't
opening
negative.
up the conversation.
It's opening a real two-way conversation, right?
Right.
There are drivers and there are bikers, right? And then, you know, we leveraging the popularity of a celebrity, even though
I thought it was genius,
you
dude.
know, and doing it in a way where, you know, it's going to sound bad that it's premeditated. Now they're going to come after me, but it was like, it was a risk because we didn't ask anybody's permission, and we're like, he could get pissed off about this. But how do you look if you're Deadpool, Mr. Tongue-in-cheek all the time, and then you shut down a motorcycle safety video telling everyone how awesome you are?
Have you heard from Ryan Reynolds?
We know that he saw it, and we know that he thought it was, in his words, fucking hilarious.
Really?
Yeah. So I thought,
You got to get his mailing address, send him some swag, send him some
dude.
jeans, and
if you're listening,
Ryan Reynolds-
Ryan,
pair with your name on it.
he's listening. He listens. Like this is one of the biggest podcasts on the planet.
all right. Well,
Sort
then,
of.
Ryan.
Ish.
He's into it.
It will
I'm
be.
sure he is.
It will be.
I'm sure he is. But yeah, a friend of ours, I mean, everybody was like tagging him in
Oh,
it,
yeah, I'm
you
sure.
know? And then a friend of ours sent it to him, and like he responded to the email and he liked it. So
It'd be
yeah,
funny
you know?
to do like a follow up where he's in it
Oh yeah.
and he does like a bit with you guys. That'd be
oh yeah,
hilarious.
dude. If
he makes this thing like, hey guys, it might be Tom Cruise out there riding a motorcycle.
And then you just perpetuate it from one celebrity to the next, and you start naming all these people. Oh, that'd be classic.
But watch out for motorcyclists, because especially, you know, it could be somebody that could
Dude,
be a
since
celebrity, dude.
Since I bought, it could. I mean, it could be me.
Could be Sean
It
fucking
could be
Whalen.
me.
It could be
Like
yeah.
you would feel really fucking
That's
bad.
the next one.
If you hit me, I don't care who's. If you, there's probably quite a few people here
lion's not sheep
that would
guy.
literally want to hit me. Like if they saw me, they'd probably try and mow me over. They'd
That's
be like,
why
"I
you need that full face.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. There's a lot of people like, fuck you, dude. I'd run you over in 2 seconds. Not even think twice about it. But hey, you know, like you said, you put something out there, you're gonna have blowback. You know, either
that's
way.
what I was saying. Is like we wanted that controversy. Like we embraced that controversy because when you want a video to get shares, it's got to stir up an emotion to somebody. So it had humor. It had like a real cause. Like bikers, it could have been 100% serious. Take out all the Ryan Reynolds stuff, but because it was saying a message to drivers from motorcyclists, the motorcyclist community is going to share that. Why do you think everything Star Wars related goes big?
Oh, yeah.
Because people define themselves as,
Totally.
I'm a Star Wars fan. If you put out the worst Jar Jar Binks, stupid Star Wars like little video, I'm going to share that. If it makes me smile a little bit, I'll share it.
What's Jar Jar
Because-
Binks?
Yeah, it's just
don't
a
know what
Star
that
Wars
is.
character. You're too cool, Sean.
I'm not a Star Wars guy. I've seen them all, but I'm like, I don't know
That was
anything
that was
about
the
them.
worst Star Wars mistake of all time. Probably. I'm not. I mean, I know enough, Sean.
Yeah.
I know enough.
I know like Chewbacca.
You don't need to know. Okay.
And
yeah.
was R2D2's the
Yeah.
metal guy, and
Yeah.
then little
Well, R2D2 's
who's
the-
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
R2D2 is
That's
the
you.
golden guy, isn't it?
Yeah, R2D2's the golden guy. Yeah.
I feel like you're Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Who's Obi-Wan Kenobi?
It's like the Jedi Master.
That's who I
dude.
am.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the haircut and the beard.
I don't need to know that. Those are just
It's like
Okay,
a,
cool.
a big dumb rabbit.
yeah. I'm not that guy.
Yeah, no.
I'm not that guy. We'll do. I think what would be cool is that we could do another podcast and talk about like the marketing and the videos, because that's like
Yeah.
That's 100% make or break everything. Like when we're
Totally
ever like,
agree.
hey, we have a new product, like we want to sell more. It's marketing behind it. And
Oh, yeah.
so it's marketing it's knowing what marketing is, because that's such a big term that it's easy to marketing. But like no, it's videos, it's photography, it's Facebook ads, it's getting it on the right people so they post it, and so it's just marketing is absolutely make or break between a successful or unsuccessful business.
Ironically, after doing, we did the drag video and we did the woman's drag video, and both of those helped these Kickstarters go really well. And we knew also like that was a visual spectacle, another thing. So, that the Ryan Reynolds video wasn't really a visual spectacle. It was just people's faces. The drag video is a stunt. People want to see, oh, this guy's going to get dragged. Is he going to be a bloody pile of mess, like when he's done? So, but then it was like, until the Ryan Reynolds video, and this is for all you entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs out there, as you say, like we got so bogged down. We got really bogged down in the day-to-day for a long time. And the thing that makes us special is we have this video, this skill to do video.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm doing videos for Pizza Hut, Cricket, for like other people's Kickstarters. Like people are hiring us to do for Dollar Beard Club. We did a video that got them $1 million in a month, right? And so like we were still out there doing this for other people, but we weren't doing it for ourselves. And then again, in the importance of a partner kind of holding your feet to the fire, Andrew and I came together and it's like, we enjoy doing video. We're totally almost angry because we've become so like locked into just make jeans, send jeans, make jeans, send jeans. And we're like, we got to do a video. Whatever video it is, we just got to do a video because that's what we enjoy doing in this business more than just like the slog of it all, right? And so we had a list of video ideas and we're like, this is the one, the script's done. And it wasn't the top of the list in terms of like, what'll sell jeans?
yeah.
Well, what's going to sell jeans? Testimonial video will sell jeans. What'll sell jeans? This kind of video will sell. Let's do a different drag. All those things. But it was like, what one are we going to enjoy doing? And what one are people going to enjoy? And it was that one. And like having done that and seeing just so much more excitement about us, so much more like shops hearing about us through that video going viral and coming back and saying, hey, you mind if we carry your jeans? Sure.
Dude, it's when you say, I think the most important thing you just said there is something that you would enjoy. When I ran for Congress, I did it because I wanted to, and I knew that I couldn't. Everybody has a shot, right? But it was like David and Goliath. But I was going to go all in with it, and I the biggest video that I did was political video, and I mocked like politicians. I mocked all of their political videos, but it was something that I thought up that I was like, this is funny to me. Like you imagine the old Will Ferrell. So Will Ferrell used to mock Bush all the time, and I remember watching one video on YouTube where he's on the ranch. And he's trying to be the ranch, and the horse is coming over. He's like, "Get that thing!" And he's got the shovel. He's like, "What do I do with this thing?" But it's funny as shit, dude. And it's like a 5-minute, and there's the spoofs, and there's like the B-roll and the whole thing. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to literally mock all these politicians who, like, wear the yellow hard hat and the clear safety goggles, and they pretend that they've actually had like dirt underneath their fingernails. And so like I got a yellow hard hat and I'm like shoveling horse manure from like one pile to the next, like 2 feet away, pretending that I'm working. And then I'm like, I did that spoof on the horse where I'm sitting backwards on the horse and it zoomed in on me and it's like zooming out and I'm like, I'm holding my rifle, and then my political assistant is saying, you need to turn around. And I'm like, yeah, and we need to turn America around. And as it zooms out, he's like, no, you need to turn around. And it shows me backwards on this horse, like mocking these politicians that pretend that they're like, But point is like, that was funny as shit to me. Yeah. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Well, it ended up going viral. And all of my opponents, I remember going to this town hall debate, and I'm sitting in this row with like 8 of the other candidates, and all of them saw it, and all of them thought it was hilarious. They're like, dude, your video is pretty damn funny. And I'm mocking them. Yeah. Like, I'm literally mocking their shit. And they're like, dude, that was pretty fucking funny. So I think what you said is like hugely important, where number one, you got to build the business that you want to, that you appreciate, that you use, some product that you're passionate about. But you have to market to what makes you want to buy it. Like, what makes me want to watch a video? Like, if I wouldn't watch this video, why would I think that just based off of the rules of quote unquote marketing that a million other people would? You know what I mean? Like, I thought mocking other politicians was really fucking funny. Well, apparently so did 3.8 other million people that watched the video and commented on the whole thing. So I think that's huge for people to take away from this is, like, as you're talking about marketing, trying to follow the rules, quote unquote rules of what other people have done for the last 20 years, that's not the rodeo anymore. Like, the rodeo is like, what gets you and your circle, your people off? Like, what do you guys appreciate? What do you like? Because that's who you're ultimately marketing to. So create the brand, create the feel, create the message that like makes you laugh, and it'll make the other people that are in your demographic that would buy your jeans laugh as well.
Right. And it's not to say like that, like a demonstration video, like we did the drag, and the drag is it's a cool demonstration. If you have a product like a water filter or something like that, maybe it's not going to be a freaking viral video. It's not to take anything away from that kind of video or a testimonial. People buy because they see somebody else going, hey, I bought this and it really, really works. That's all fine. At the time we made the Ryan Reynolds video, for us, it was about, doing what we do. The thing that we do, I mean, when we go to make a testimonial video, that's harder for us than it is to make that fun viral video, because that's what we do, Yeah. And so like making Ryan Reynolds was just like, oh, we can totally see how to do this. Then when we got to go and make like, hey, let's make a video that explains the jeans.
You're like, this is boring as shit. Like, why do we want to do this?
That's harder for me. Like, totally. I go on camera and like, and
I think that's what separates a good company though, and a breakout company from a company that's trying to fit in that mainstream, where like we look at other websites and we try and duplicate what they're doing. And there's a rhyme and a reason to copying. I mean, Paul Arden, one of the greatest marketers of all time, wrote Steal Like an Artist. Brilliant fucking book. And it's very, very applicable. Like, you're not creating new jeans. Jeans have already existed. What you're doing is taking your own little, I like this and this and this. Let me put it into my little blender. Bop, 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 bop. Now I've got my own product that I like. But like, being able to sit down and not only make fun of yourself, but really enjoy the process of like putting a product out there that like you really love, you know what I'm saying? And like saying it and doing it the way that you want to say it and do it. That, to me, that's what everybody's wanting. That's what separates those videos from everything else. Is it is irreverent. It is. I'm literally mocking every politician prior to me, and any politician that comes after me that puts on a fucking yellow hard hat, I'm mocking him. I'm literally making fun of your ass, because we all know you're full of shit and have never done that. But that's the beauty, is like being able to do it your own way. To me, that's what makes a great business thrive. That's what makes a great business explode. And I think it transcends, and people are really smart. I think they see it. I think people feel that. You know what I mean? When you're trying really hard to fit the mold, people smell that shit from a mile away. But when you're having fun and you're like, cool, like Black Rifle Coffee, for example. Black Rifle Coffee, I mean, Evan, it literally is like, if you don't like the Second Amendment. If you don't like guns, Matt Best is like, don't fucking buy our coffee. Like, there's no mincing words. There's no, like, they're like, this is who the fuck we are. This is what we do. If you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, fuck off. But they're not trying to sell and move into a marketplace and convince you to like their coffee. They're like, if you don't like guns, fuck you. If you don't like America, fuck you. When you can put a gene out there and you're like, this is why we like this gene. If you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, that's fine too.
Yeah, that's another.
That's when you start having really good fun, man.
Right. That's another thing. Like, I've had ideas. This idea is one of them where people go, I just don't think people are going to pay that much for a gene. And I go, well, you mean you wouldn't pay that much for a gene, and that's okay.
Yep.
Well, I think probably most people wouldn't pay that much for a gene. That's also okay. Well, I think only 10% of people would pay that much for a gene. That's also okay.
Yeah.
10% is a hell of a lot of riders, man. Millions of people. So you don't have to come up with freaking Facebook, where who doesn't have Facebook, right? Okay, everybody's gonna, Coca-Cola has enough products that we've all had some, right? That doesn't have to be your business. Maybe that's something you'll eventually come up with. But also, like, any entrepreneur you think of, almost all of them have started multiple businesses. We even, and we're still in the apartment phase, but we've started multiple businesses. So get out there and start the business that gets a fraction of a percent, and you have a customer base, but make them love you. Yeah. It's better to have and in stand-up, I felt this way. It's better to have, as a stand-up, you're going into these clubs and all these comics are getting up. And I was like, you know what? The kind of stuff I'm going to do, as long as I'm remembered, that's all I care about. So if you hate what I do, that's fine.
But you got to remember me.
But you got to remember me. And there's this little sliver of people that will just think, not only is that guy funny, but he's the funniest damn comic I've ever seen. And because it was different. And the different is what surprised him, right? It's not. I'm not saying what I was doing was objectively funnier, or in business that it's objectively better, but you just do it in a way that's just 10% different, just a little distinct, and then people go, okay, that's my favorite. And with tobacco, what we've seen is how we've run our Kickstarter. We're 3 years since our first Kickstarter. We still have we're actually preparing to send our backers from our first Kickstarter 3 years ago a gift. They don't know what's coming, so this is the first time it's been announced. But we're doing that because it's like they made all this possible.
Right.
We'll never forget those guys, even if they forget us.
Yeah.
If they go, they've got their genes. We did. I mean. Like on Kickstarter, it's rare that we sent an email to every backer, 500 emails. As soon as they bought, we'd send them. We'd go on, we'd figure out what else they backed. We'd learn a little bit about them. Just so much stuff. And almost everyone that replied was like, whoa, I've backed 5 Kickstarters. I've never gotten somebody I've never had a company just proactively reach out to me before. And to me, it was like, really? I feel like when you're a Kickstarter, especially those first 20 backers, that first 100 backers, man. Is it that hard to respond and say, hey, thanks for backing us? Because you can even say, tell your friends about it. It's a marketing tool.
Sure.
So it's just, it's about doing those little things that just give you that, make you memorable. Just make
value.
People be in your tribe.
Add value, be a good human being, treat people well, give them good products, say the shit that, you think is funny, and be yourself, and just try and stay in your own lane. And to me, it's not hard to do this. Like we're saying, you just got to do the hard work and fuck what everybody else says, in my opinion. I mean, that's really every single thing I've ever done, people have been like, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this. But if somebody's willing to buy a pair of jeans for $350 or whatever else, that tells you something. So anybody that says it can't be done, those are typically the people that'll never get off their ass and do anything anyways. So get off your ass and do something. But
you get good people around you. I mean,
totally agree.
It's 1,000 times harder to do something by yourself.
Yeah.
Like we were at a show and the booth next to us, he was just him, different product, but it was him by himself at that booth, and Dave and I were at our booth, selling jeans, and everything about it is just so much easier with a partner. And he even said at the end, because he had another hour of teardown left after we left, and he was like, "Oh, I need to clone one of you guys, so I have a partner," And I was thinking about it. I thought about it a lot because I take it for granted, but it's so crazy how important the right partnership and even team is, because it's just when you're having your down day, chances are that other person's not having their down day, and vice versa. And so you can do it alone, and several people have, but that's the difficult way.
Yeah, totally agree. I agree. Well, this is a huge lesson in entrepreneurialism, but I'm glad to rap with you guys about it and see what you guys are building. It's freaking cool. So I want to put all the links in too for the videos, because they're all on YouTube, and I'm sure everybody's going to be looking it up and stuff, but we'll put the links in here and not only push the agenda, but as a tobacco jean wearer, I would highly recommend them. I haven't fallen off my bike yet. I haven't slid off my bike yet, so I can't attest to how fucking gnarly the Kevlar really is, but I watched your video, and I think, my friends, in the next couple of weeks or coming months, we should do a video where I'm sliding.
100%.
But I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to have to one-up you. Like, I'm a one-upper. Like, I saw you, the motorcycle thing, like, we might have to do something way crazier.
Fair enough.
So make sure, make sure that these jeans fucking work, will you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw some
Screws
fire.
out.
Are they fireproof?
Broken glass.
I don't go through a wall of fire.
Oh yeah.
If it involves fire or anything else, it's like, I really think we should figure out a way to like make these bulletproof too. If you could get the Kevlar to a level where I could get shot, you can shoot me with like one of my ARs in the ass. It'll leave a bruise, but I'm down for that, dude. I'm so down for that.
You know what an AR can do.
I know.
So like, yeah.
Well, hey, we'll see how freaking awesome your Kevlar jeans are, Yeah. All right, my friends, I appreciate you listening. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for the nuggets, the wisdom. All of you that are listening to this, like the moral of the story is get off your ass and go do it. This is not something that's rocket science. You're seeing countless entrepreneurs doing shit, making shit happen, doing the hard work, sacrificing a couple hours of riding for a couple hours of working. But, it doesn't matter what your idea is. Just go do it. Like, literally start it.
Set aside an hour of the day and say, during this time, I'm going to work on it. So there's that hour that you can completely turn everything else off and just, there's no expectations, just work on it.
Do it.
And you'll be blown away by how much you can accomplish.
Dude, in a week, people say they don't have any time. Like, in a week, you put 7 hours behind your business and just keep multiplying that, adding that.
Google is an amazing thing. I mean, I knew about jeans, and I was like, I wondered what it would take. And suddenly I got Kevlar in my showing up in the mail because I Googled where to get it.
Did you read my book? Have you read my book?
Not yet.
God
I gotta
damn
get
it.
the book.
I
have
went down
some
to Barnes & Noble last night.
Barnes & Noble, they don't have it. It's all online. I'll get you guys some, but I literally say that exact thing. I'm like, there's no answer that you can't find to any question, including how to build a spaceship. I prove this. Go to Google, how to build a spaceship. There are literally NASA blueprints for how to build a fucking spaceship. Manned spaceship. Their blueprints are online. People are like, I don't know how to start a company. I'm like, motherfucker, I know how to build a spaceship from Google. So fuck you and your excuses. Go figure out the answers. So, all right, my friends, you have been listening to the Revolution Podcast. I'm sure we're going to do another one here with these guys again soon. So the links are in the bio here, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this. Thank you. Please leave comments. Please leave reviews. And make sure to come visit these guys. Buy a pair of jeans. Drag your ass around town. Prove that they work. And keep being badass. So, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless America. See you guys.
My people, it's time to move out. Move out. My people, it's time to move out. Show 'em what we do now. They say that work seems so hard to follow. I am not a role model, only a teacher. Teach 'em when the school's out. Preacher man preaching to each his own. Mano we mano. Fly away. Fly away. Fly away with me. It's time to fly away. Fly away. His blood set me free. It's time to fly away. While I'm slipping like an absent thought. Rollerblade skipping, skidding along the top of no.